So today I just wanted to talk a bit about sources and methods, specifically my favorite source called WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is the holy grail of leaked government documents. Over the past decade, they have posted millions of documents exposing crazy corruption by governments all around the world. They always bring the wood and they always verify their sources. They literally have an unblemished record when it comes to authenticity, meaning they do such an airtight job of verifying that they have never published a fake document. Not ever. Exactly zero other news organizations or publishers or websites can say the same thing. Not a single one. That's why it's so frustrating when they get slandered by kangaroo journalists. WikiLeaks is far and away the most accurate news source to have ever existed. So how do I know that? Aren't I just taking Julian Assange's word for it? No. I never take anyone's word for anything. I verify using cyber forensic techniques. In the case of the Hillary Clinton emails, the John Podesta emails, and the DNC emails, I did what's called a message header analysis with Microsoft Outlook, one of the most popular business email programs. When a certain unnamed IT guy leaked the Democrats' data back before the election, he did so by generating a backup of their Outlook app called a .ost file. If you've ever used Outlook before and made a backup, you probably know that those .ost archives don't just contain emails. They also contain contacts, files, attachments, calendars, and in some cases, notes sections where silly boomers love to write all their passwords. If you take one of those .ost files and load it into Outlook, you could use the message header analysis feature that comes pre-built in. A message header is essentially a digital manifest that is attached to every one of your emails when you send it, detailing your email's origin, its destination, and the steps it took to get there in between. It also, if you're a federal government official, contains sophisticated cryptographic signatures that are used to verify its authenticity by the receiving party. It's kind of like a high-tech version of one of those king rings they used back in the day that they used to stamp their seal into the wax, closing the envelope. The State Department, during Hillary's tenure, used Google's 2048-bit DKIM cryptographic signatures, a particularly effective kind. So we are able to look at the individual message header of each individual email and verify indisputably the authenticity of each and every one of them. We're also able to trace something called hops. Tracing hops refers to using IP addresses to trace an email's path across the internet. If you think about how the internet works, it's essentially just a giant web of computers all wired together. So if you send an email from your house, for example, it goes from your device to your router, across your ISP's servers to a backbone data center, then across another ISP's servers and back down the line to its final destination. Each time a message moves across another device is called a hop. So by tracing the IP addresses of each hop, we can map out every step in an email's journey across the internet. Meaning that in addition to us being able to prove that each of those emails contains a State Department 2048-bit DKIM cryptographic signature, we can also cross-reference the send locations against their travel calendars and prove that each email was sent from the location that they happened to be in at the time. The clips I used are from some random YouTube channels that I will link to below in case you'd like to see how this works in your own emails. Using methods like this one, we can say that everything in WikiLeaks is 100% indisputably authentic, which is why it's so perplexing to me that more people, especially my Republican amigos, don't use this as more of a resource. People act like everything in WikiLeaks has been already talked about, but the reality is that we, the general public, have barely scratched the surface of what's actually in there. There's all sorts of jaw-dropping revelations about almost every government on Earth. I encourage you to take a look for yourself. We'll be going through best practices for efficiently browsing through WikiLeaks in another video. In the meantime, I posted a link to my archive of curated WikiLeaks below, just so you guys can get a feel for the gravity of the material. It will really help you understand why the royal death racket is working so hard to take out Julian Assange and why we need to break him out ASAP.